Alright, welcome back everybody to YouTube channel BTCTV, and we continue to do videos with famous people in blockchain industry. Finally, I'm happy to present you Tony Vays here at our channel. Thanks for coming to us.
How are you, man? Great to be here in Malta. It's awesome.
Yes, we are shooting right now from Malta Blockchain IE Summit. How do you enjoy it to be here?
Really a fan of Malta. The weather is getting better. I was here about a month ago, much better now. The conference was interesting. I consider this is like an altcoin conference. There's three types of conferences I speak at. Conferences that are solely focused on Bitcoin, which is my specialty. Okay. Economic conferences that don't know anything about crypto, and then I get to educate the non-crypto people. But the ones that I really stir up the pot are these kinds of conferences that are geared towards the altcoiners, the multi-coiners, the ICOs, the STOs. I think I'm the only Bitcoin maximalist here, so it's great to be on stage and just push their buttons a little bit.
Okay, cool. Now let's start because maybe some subscribers doesn't know about you, and can you a little bit tell us about your background, how actually you jumped from traditional like bank investing sector and to blockchain to Bitcoin? Can you tell us your story?
I got a master's in financial engineering. I was teaching for a little bit. Then I got my first job at Bear Stearns building risk models. After Bear Stearns collapsed, it was JP Morgan, then a couple of other companies over on Wall Street. I was there for just under 10 years. In around 2011, I heard about Bitcoin with WikiLeaks and this using Bitcoin as this censorship-resistant value transfer. Didn't buy it like an idiot. Didn't really hear much about Silk Road, wasn't my thing. But in 2013, when the money was confiscated from Cyprus banks, when they took 50% of everything above 100,000 euros in Cyprus banks, that really bothered me. And that's when I realized that Bitcoin is the only unconfiscatable asset the world had ever seen. And thanks to Max Kaiser and RT, I knew about Bitcoin. So in 2013, I ran out, got my first Bitcoins, started paying attention to the ecosystem. 2014, I spoke at my first conference, started writing at Cointelegraph, got interviewed on a few YouTube channels like yours. Now,
then you started your
day. Right, then I quit my job in 2015 to be a full-time trader and talking about Bitcoin every now and then. Now all I do is talk about Bitcoin around the world, traveling, have my own YouTube channel, focus on trading, finance, and just educating what a blockchain is and why Bitcoin is going to eat everybody's lunch eventually in this space.
Let's talk actually about next question. You said that Bitcoin will eat everything, right? Why are you so bullish about that?
Because Bitcoin is the only project that I've seen in the entire crypto space that is actually decentralized, that is actually trustless. And the fact that it's trustless is what makes me trust the fact that it's trustless. Every other project has leaders, corporations, companies.
Right.
Their chains constantly get reorged. Their early transactions get lost. I haven't seen a single element of decentralization, and that makes sense because what Bitcoin was able to achieve in its first 2 years, mining, development, usage, organic growth, organic promotion, no one knew it's ever gonna work. You can't replicate that. Every project that has come after Bitcoin had needed a finance department and a marketing department and centralized development department, influencers, and that's not what decentralization is about. That's not what open source code is about, and that's why Bitcoin might move slow because of that, because there is no leader to say we're doing it this way. It's gonna move slow for that reason. It's also gonna move slow because Bitcoin's gonna be $1 trillion market cap soon. You can't just make loosey-goosey changes to the code. You're dealing with real money. You're dealing with a real sector of the economy, hopefully a giant sector of the economy. These changes need to come slow. The fact that it's hard to make a change in Bitcoin, again, makes me trust that it's secure and stable and safe.
Wow. Thanks for your opinion, because we spoke with Roger Ver, with Bobby Lee, with another experts, and right now, in my opinion, this is the best answer why Bitcoin is top leader, why king of the king, right, in the space. So thanks about that. Now let's talk about trillion market, right? Because right now, how much capitalization we have? Like
200 something, yeah.
Something like that. In your opinion, when you'll be able to see that trillion market?
I think it's going to be a little bit longer than people think. People always think that new technology adopts so quickly. I'm still waiting for my self-driving car.
Right.
And Tesla stock has been crashing for the last year, so I have no idea when I'm even going to get it. And it adopts pretty slow, but then everyone has it and it's normal. I think it's going to take longer than people think. I think we'll need one more halving. I think it's going to happen leading into the 2024 halving. I mean, for $1 trillion, I think Bitcoin would need to be what, $50,000 or something.
Yeah.
I think it's going to take a little bit longer than people expect.
I see. Now let's talk about regulations, because everybody thinks that if regulations all around the world will come, there will be mass adoption. It's a hard question, but in your opinion, when will we be able that regulations to see live?
The word mass adoption is tricky. What do people call mass adoption? People using Bitcoin, but using Bitcoin through a payment processor is not what I'm looking for. That's another way of centralizing Bitcoin. I don't care for the regulation side, but I will say if US government and EU government decided to get together and make Bitcoin illegal and ban it outright, the price will probably crash because no traditional institution would be able to touch it. So sure, traditional institutions getting into Bitcoin and investing in Bitcoin or starting to use Bitcoin, which I doubt they're going to be using it, they'll probably invest in Bitcoin. That can help drive the price up. But I'm still skeptical on traditional banking. Speculating on Bitcoin is too dangerous. Bitcoin can be hacked. We just saw it with Binance hack.
Yes.
We saw it with Bitfinex. We saw it with Tether. Imagine if you are a bank regulated by the US and you decided to buy and hold your Bitcoin at Bitfinex. That's not going to go over very well, right? What about Binance? How do you explain to your investors, to your shareholders, yeah, we invested into Bitcoin, but some Chinese guy lost it all. Like, how do you explain that? You're jeopardizing your 6-7 figure salary as the CEO of a bank. You can start to become an intermediary, like, for example, Fidelity is now getting into this custody of we're a regulated company, we're trusted, we're legit, we're gonna be a custodian and store the Bitcoin for other financial institutions. But even Fidelity can get hacked. What happens then? Like, you gotta have some real cojones. Like, if I ran Fidelity, I'm like, God, I'm scared about the responsibility of my Bitcoin. Imagine responsibility of a Bitcoin for hedge funds, for other banks. Like, God, I don't want that responsibility, right? So it's not as simple as people think, like Wall Street getting in. Not to mention that the price discovery of Bitcoin is taking place on these exchanges that everyone agrees have no regulation and is manipulated. So how do you expect Wall Street to get in if you yourself are screaming they're manipulating the trades? That's why my trade got stopped out and I didn't make money on that trade. So it's this circle. So it will happen. To me, mass adoption is I come to a place like this and I can buy a drink with my Bitcoin. But it's not just that. Not only do I buy a drink with that Bitcoin, the people at the counter that are going to serve us that drink know Bitcoin, and the owner of this hotel is actually holding some of that Bitcoin and not immediately converting it to fiat and maybe paying some of his employees with that Bitcoin. That is mass adoption to me, and I don't think that's going to come for maybe another decade. I think that's going to take even longer.
I see. Now another question will be, everybody knows about rumors that Facebook is going to launch their own coin, stable coin. And they have already, like, how many, 2 billion users. Do you think that they can compete with Bitcoin, or this is another complete story?
No, they're going to be competing with PayPal. They're going to be competing with Venmo. They're not exactly competing with WeChat, but what they're doing is WeChat. Like, right. People in China just pay each other through WeChat. Facebook coin is just going to be a stable coin of the US dollar. There's no blockchain needed. There's no blockchain involved. Facebook has a big user base. They're going to help get rid of the fiat money. So basically, there are some countries in Europe, Northern Europe, for example, where almost nobody pays in cash. Other countries like India, everybody pays in cash. I love Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, I show up in Hong Kong, and you buy this called an octopus card. If you've ever been to Hong Kong.
No.
So at the airport, you can buy this octopus card. You can fill the card with cash or with your credit card. And then you use this card all over Hong Kong, public transportation, restaurants, everybody accepts it. When your card runs low, and it's NFC, you keep it in your wallet, you just touch against the sensor. When the card runs low, I take cash out of my wallet, I go into a 7-Eleven, and I load it. I can load it with $500, $1,000. It's an anonymous way to use cash, but on a card. That is still cash. That is still anonymous value. Once I'm in Hong Kong, everything I spend on this card, nobody knows it's me. My ID is not on the card. These cards you can just buy. You don't even buy them. You just give them back at the airport. It's anonymous. But Facebook is not going to give you anonymous transactions. They're not going to give you. They're going to be reversible. You know, if you accidentally send your entire account to someone else, I'm sure there's a customer service person on Facebook that you can talk to. They're not going to be unconfiscatable. If Facebook, if all of a sudden the government gives Facebook a call and says, "Hey, freeze this guy's money," they're going to freeze the money. Right. It's not unconfiscatable. It's not censorship resistant. It's not a blockchain, and it's stable to the U.S. dollar, which actually makes sense. You want it to be stable to the U.S. dollar. Bitcoin is volatile. I'm like the only guy that's denominating in Bitcoin. That's crazy. And it's still pretty volatile. I mean, it's great to use Bitcoin to buy a drink. If you're going to go buy a car, you're watching the price of Bitcoin, right? So it's pretty volatile. And this is another reason why altcoins and other cryptos can't compete, because they're even more volatile than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the most stable one we have. And then it gets crazier when you're talking about Ethereum or Ripple or these utility coins. You have to use our money to use our product, and our money is the most volatile money in the world. So go and use it. You know, it's like buying it's like using Tesla stock to go buy a Tesla, and Tesla stock just dropped in price 33%. And it's like, nope, I'm sorry, you want to buy a Tesla, you can only use Tesla stock. But it's down 40%. I don't want to spend my stock. I'm waiting for it to go back up. Well, then you're not buying a Tesla. I mean, it's ridiculous. Think about the Tesla business. How much would the Tesla business suffer if they only accepted Tesla stock? And people think this is the innovation of the decade. It's ridiculous.
I see. Tony, everybody knows about you, like influencer, trader, right? Now, let's talk a little bit more about what you're doing during daily life, right? How your daily life is looking?
Oh God, my daily life is fighting with the Ripple Army of the dead. Ripple Army of the brain dead. Yeah, so my life's been unreasonably busy. I speak at about 40 conferences a year. I don't even have a home base anymore. And I just flew into Malta. I've been here for 4 days. From here I go to Istanbul for about 3 or 4 days. Then conference in Bulgaria, again about 5 days. Amsterdam, about 5 days for a couple of events there. Then the blockchain cruise through the Mediterranean. Then a weekend conference in Berlin. And then on the way back to the US, I'll stop in Iceland for a few days just because there's no direct flights. So I travel perpetually. And I have 2 rules that allow me to do that. One is I try never to have connecting flights. If I have to wait at the airport for another flight, I'd rather get to that city a day early, leave the airport, spend the night, come back to the airport. I just don't like sitting waiting for another plane. Things can be delayed. It gets messy. I love like just flying one way and making things out of those cities. And the other one, I can't stay at hotels perpetually. If I stay at a city for more than a few days, I need a nice apartment, an Airbnb. And so during travel, it's hard to keep up. I still do my daily YouTube show on price. I have other podcasts. We used to have a daily news show, the law show, the crypto scam series, the On the Record series, but it's really hard to coordinate. My mornings I usually spend answering a million messages. I get angry at people sometimes. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to answer your personal questions. I want to buy, I want to sell Bitcoin. I can't personally. This is why I do daily YouTube videos. Just watch them. But life's been pretty busy.
Why you're doing this? I mean, like it's not so easy. I mean, at one side it's looking funny, right? To travel all around the world making podcasts, but it takes a lot of energy.
I do enjoy it. I enjoy the travel. I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy new places, and I mean, Bitcoin has been just relentlessly attacked. Not at this point. Back in the day, back in like 2013 through 2015, in the early days when I was involved, I don't know, there were people involved before me. Back then, we were all united fighting the traditional non-Bitcoin believers. But now, 80% of my time is spent fighting people in the crypto space because they're just idiots. Like, our own space is killing us right now. Like, Bitcoin might be so much closer to mass adoption if there weren't so many fake Bitcoins out there pretending to be better than Bitcoin. Like, look guys, admit it. You missed it. I missed it. I missed 2011. I missed 2012. But I came when I came, and I try to support Bitcoin because I know it's going to win. Just because you missed Bitcoin doesn't mean it's so easy to make a replica and get rich. I know everybody did that in 2017 with their ICOs, but that's not how reality in the future will work. Admit you miss Bitcoin, admit you're not going to be a billionaire, and help promote something that is actually going to help save the world from every government printing endless amount of fiat and confiscating your money when they want to.
I agree. Thanks for that. Before we finish, how about that we will make a small challenge with our subscribers from our channel BTCTV, that they will start asking interesting questions below this video, right? And in a couple of weeks, let's say you will select a winner, and the winner from us will get $100 in Bitcoins to their wallet. How about that?
Sure, sounds good. But you're gonna go through the questions and send me your best 10,
yes,
and I will pick the best question out of that 10, and I'll try to answer it on my YouTube channel.
Sounds good. We will actually put in the description link to your channel as well.
Excellent.
That they can subscribe to your channel and to our channel.
Perfect.
So
check it out.
subscribe to our channels, leave a comments below this video.
Yeah. And Tone Vays everywhere. Tone Vays on Twitter, tonevays.com, Tone Vays on YouTube.
All right. Thanks again for coming to us, and wishing you good luck with what you are doing.
Thank you.